Africa and blacks in diaspora.
Say it one more time. Black people in Africa, blacks in diaspora.
Black people in Africa, black people in diaspora, we should look for what connects us, not what disconnects us. We have a lot to benefit from each other. Africa will benefit from you, you will benefit from Africa. But you see, the benefit is mutual because this is your home, this is your origin. They don't want us to be united, but we have to. Now we talk about slavery, we talk about colonialism, but all that is past because we know what happened. So if we know the truth, then we become free. So no propaganda can enslave us anymore. Welcome home.
Thank you. That means a lot. Like I said, in order for Africa to regain its glory and to reach its potential, it's going to need the help of the diaspora. And the same thing for the diaspora. Without Africa, the diaspora cannot reach its potential. So you're on point.
Oh, that's the truth. Later, check out this my write-up. I titled African American History and the Development of Africa. African American History and the Development of Africa. But when I said African American history, I'm talking about African black people in the whole of because America is actually a continent. We have North America, Central America, South America. So when I say African American history, I mean black people in diaspora, their history and the development of Africa. So every one of them from North America down to the southernmost part of South America is what I mean. The development of Africa is very, very connected to them. Their pride is also connected to Africa. Just look around. When you just look around here, you may think you are somewhere in Barbados.
No. We're in Nigeria.
You're in Nigeria. But when you go around here, this island, it looks like you're in the Caribbean.
Because that's all the images they show is that the beauty like this is only in the Caribbean.
No.
But when Nigeria is poverty, nothing's beautiful.
Yeah, we are in Nigeria here.
Right.
Now that's the
Boko Haram is running around. Like right. So what we're getting in the West. So what we're getting right now in the West is right now as we walk on this nice beach with all these palm trees, Boko Haram is gonna hop out the bushes right now and take us. That's what they're sharing. That's what they're showing us in the West. Boko Haram is gonna hop out the bushes. All right, the Fulani herdsmen, they're gonna come out of the bushes and kidnap us.
Nigeria is safe.
Yeah, Nigeria is safe. Thank you. We're going to this beautiful beach.
Look at the coconut trees.
Yeah, the coconut trees.
All right, nice, beautiful breeze. Let black people in diaspora can come and invest in Africa. It is important. See, all they need is truthful people on ground. You need a contact. You need people you can trust on ground. Once you are able to do that, easily you can get your documents to own a land. It's easy for you to own a land if you come through the right people who will take you to the government, who will take you to the right offices. You buy your land, they give you certificate of ownership, and in your own name, you become a country. You want to be a citizen. It's easy for you. You have to come home. Don't go through the wrong people. Now, the wrong people, they are like the collaborators who collaborated with the European slave traders that time. They've always been in existence and they are still in existence now.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the leaders of Africa right now, are they the descendants of those that worked with the slave traders, that worked with the Europeans?
See, unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, no. The truth is that in some places, when you get to some places, the ruling class are still the descendant of the former slave traders. But in some places, some people were able to walk from nothing to becoming something. It varies. It depends on which country you find yourself. It depends on which community you find yourself. But here in Africa, people have been able to get to the apex, to get to the top with no basis, with nothing, and they work very hard and they become someone. We have examples of them across Africa. But yet, there are some people that are very, very wealthy today that are descendants of the slave traders. But yes, no matter what we think, no matter what we say, we cannot hold them account, okay, for the atrocities that time, because they were not born that time. Okay, they were not born. We can't hold them. The opportunities may have been established for them to occupy, but you can't blame them, okay, because you don't determine who becomes your father, and you don't determine who becomes your mother. You don't determine which country you come from. You don't determine which family you come from. But the point is, they are hard-working people in Africa. There are people who are able to rise from grass to grace. In fact, let's give it to the youth of Africa, because the youth of Africa, they do everything possible to be successful. They do everything possible to achieve their visions, even though in most places there are no amenities. But when you see us compete with the best in the world, you still see our names on the list because we work very hard.
Yes.
Now imagine the amenities are there. Of course, they will be the best. So we work very hard. We should not antagonize any one of us. Even those whose ancestors were slave traders that time. They were also victims of their time. But right now that we know the truth, let us collaborate and do what is right, because history is for us to learn from, so that we don't continue to make the same old mistakes.
And let me ask you this follow-up question. Do you think the first African country that reaches out to the diaspora from a government level and asks the diaspora to come back and help, do you think that country will win in the long run?
If only government of Africa can yield to that. Any government in Africa, any family, now not just the government, any family in Africa, any group of people in Africa who opens their arm toward black people in diaspora will always benefit. Honestly, because we are one. And when you open up to black people in diaspora to come home, you have nothing to lose.
Right.
You have nothing to lose. It's like a father and mother welcoming the children back home. Your children will be excited. You are full of tears right now because you have lost your children. The children are somewhere looking for home. They are also full of tears. By the time they come back together, it will become the tears of joy. So when they become united, it will become joyful. We all have nothing to lose.
I need you to repeat that again. Africa cannot what?
Africa cannot survive without their descendants in diaspora. Those who don't like Africa know about this. That's why they are trying to disunite Africa from its descendants. Black people in diaspora cannot really survive.
Correct.
Without the motherland Africa.
Correct. I agree.
We need to unite. We must understand international politics. We must understand international propaganda. This is the hope of the world. This continent is the hope of the world. And we must take our land. We must take our land. We don't need anyone to come and tell us what to do. You don't need anyone to come and tell you how much you sell your petrol. You don't need anyone to come and tell you how much you sell your oil. You must be independent. For us to really get to where we will get to in Africa, the diasporans, we have already people all over the world, black people. Let them come and invest in Africa. It seems now, you're saying that there's an image, they created an image that Africa is not safe.
Right.
We're in the jungle. Since we've been walking on this island, how many people have we come across?
None.
Who have
Coconut
come
trees
to attack us?
No.
We are on the slave point of no return. Okay? See, Africa is safe. I'm not saying there are no crises in some places,
Right.
but it is not the image they create to our brothers and sisters in
You know what my
diaspora.
issue is though? It's the so-called educated Black America, Black American. You know, I went to a HBCU. I went to this university. I got my PhD, my master's. You know, I'm making a lot of money, $100K a year. I drive around in Atlanta or LA or Chicago in my brand new Mercedes. I have a nice, huge 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. They're the ones, the educated Black person. They're the ones that buy into the propaganda. That would rather travel to Europe, Indonesia, China, Thailand.
Right.
Well, where we're racist, they'd rather go to the places where they're racist towards us and unapologetic about it versus coming to Africa. And they'll point to, oh, well, Ebola was in Sierra Leone, so we can't go to Kenya or Nigeria. And this is the educated. You know, I got my degree from Morehouse and from Spelman, and I have a PhD. I'm a doctor. I make $100,000 a year. You know,
From Harvard University.
Harvard, you know, all these, you know, I'm educated, political pundit, you know, I can speak the Queen's English, very educated, I read a bunch of books, but they will believe everything on the media says about Africa, the propaganda. But when the media, I guess, stereotypes Black Americans in the wrong way, they say, no, that's not true, that's not true. But when the media stereotypes Africa, they believe it.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
All we need to do is educate one another, especially young people. They need to get a lot of these informations we are talking about.
Right.
It is very, very important for them to get the basics. Black people in the inner city, they need to understand, fine, you have your hood, okay? But your origin, like I tell people, if you go to New York, we have the Irish. The Irish community is big in New York.
Right.
But you see, the Irish in New York are Americans, but they are connected to Ireland.
Right.
They even know their village in Ireland. So Black people in America need to be connected to the motherland, Africa. They need to come home, if possible, be reunited with their family or
Right.
a family here in the motherland, in Africa.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Yes.
Right now, this is the Atlantic Ocean, and here is the point of no return. Therefore, Anago. Only heavens can estimate the numbers, millions of people that were taken away from here. And to my right, Porto-Novo and Vida is not far. To my right there.
How far is Porto-Novo from me? Like an hour drive?
Porto-Novo.
Yeah.
From here.
Yeah.
From Badagry roundabout to Porto-Novo. Let's say 25-30 minutes.
That's it? Oh wow.
Just cross the border.
Oh wow.
Yeah, let's say 30 minutes.
Because I heard once you get to the border, sometimes the border police they can hold you up for a long time sometimes.
If we get there, once you know the process, you won't have any problem.
Okay.
And if they know you and they know you are genuine, you won't have any problem.
Okay.
And what I do is, before I bring my people, I would have told them ahead, you know, if possible, get the documentation and everything. So once we get, they have the information.
Right.
There won't be any problem. You go through. It's better when you do it earlier.
Right.
It's better you do it earlier. You inform them. They know you and they trust you. That's all. You don't have any problem. So you're facing North America.
Right.
Central America, South America. Maybe we should swim.
No.
Let's swim.
No swim.
You know I love Cuba.
Oh, no.
Havana is not far from here.
Oh,
You
no.
know this is the coast of Nigeria. We can swim to Cuba. You don't want to swim.
No.
Akoni can swim. So maybe we should just make Akoni. Ẹja ṣàdúrà fáwọn bàbá wa. Now just make prayer to the
Okay.
ancestors. Maybe take it from here that departed from here.
Okay.
I'll send you one inside.
Okay.
fine.
You understand?
Yeah, moment of silence.
That's better.
Okay.
So
All right, so that's the end of our tour of the point of no return here in Badagry. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Peace.